Welcome to Dream Big Educational Channel. I'm doing history series for specially APPSC and TSPSC exam students, and in this course this is my second video where I'm covering Vedic era. In my first video I have covered Indus Valley civilization completely. If you have not watched the first video, please do watch that video first and then come to the second video for your better understanding. Hope this video is also going to help you out. Let's get started. And we have seen previous video about Indus Valley civilization exists around 2700 to 1800 BC. Once it was completed, immediately Chalcolithic age was started. It is mainly seen in 1800 to 1000 BC. Sorry for here grammatical mistake. It's 1000 BC. Okay, it's mainly seen in Brahmagiri and Navada Toli. It's known as transitional stage where both copper, bronze and stone tools were used. So in Chalcolithic age we can see bronze also, copper also, and as well as stone tools also. So by which we can predict that this is a transitional stage from Indus Valley civilization. Once this Chalcolithic age was end, another immediately Iron Age started. It's seen early 1000 BC. Here we can see the megalith burials. What it really means, here dead bodies in this era, dead bodies used to cover with the burials of dead bodies were covered with big megaliths. Megaliths is nothing but of big stones or stone kind of walls, stone walls. Okay, it was covered. And the arrivals of Aryans have started in this Iron Age itself, and Jainism and Buddhism also can be seen. And here once we have seen that the first civilization, that is Indus Valley civilization, once it was completed, the major civilization known as Mahajanapadas were seen in Iron Age itself. Okay, let's start Vedic age. So I'm going to explain you through this chart as a mind map. Through this mind map I'm going to explain you about Vedic era in brief. In detail I'm going to explain in my further PPTs. Okay, so this Vedic age, Vedic era came to know through textual evidence as well as some archaeological evidence, both. Okay, through textual evidences and also through excavations, archaeological evidence like excavations which were conducted in Punjab, UP and northern Rajasthan, remember. And this ancient Indian texts were classified into, first is Vedas, Darshan Shastras, Smritis, Puranas and Itihasas. So these are the five types. One is Vedas, Darshan Shastra, Smritis, Puranas and Itihas. Vedas were again classified into four types: Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and Atharva Veda. Okay, the portions of Vedas means extinctions of Vedas, again simplifications of Vedas, were again classified into Samhitas, Puranas, Aranyakas and Upanishads. Upanishads were also called as Vedantas. Again these Upanishads were classified into Vedant and Upaved. Vedant were again classified into Siksha, Kalpa, Vyakaran, Nirukt, Chand and Jyotish, and Upavedas were classified as the Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Gandharva Veda and Atharveda. It is a classifications of Upanishads. Okay. Now next is Darshan Shastra. Darshan Shastra is also classified into Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Darshan, Purva, Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. Next is Smritis. Smritis consists of 18 Smritis are there, and it was classified as a Dharma Shastras, 18 Smritis and Dharma Shastras. And Puranas were also 18 Puranas and 18 Uppurans. Uppurans means simplifications of Puranas. And Itihasas you also known as Rama and Mahabharat as well as the Bhagavad Gita. Here it is the Bhagavad Gita. So these are the about textual evidences, how it was classified. In brief, this is about briefly. In detail, I'll explain in further slides. Next is religious text. Is again it was here the classification about Shruti and Smriti. Shruti is known as Vedas. Vedas are classified as Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, Upanishads. Based on Smriti and Shruti, we are classifying here. Okay, only Shruti and Smriti only we are discussing here. And Smriti was classified as the Sutras, Ramayana, Purana, Manusmriti, Mahabharata and Srimad Bhagavatas. So this is about Smritis and this is about Shruti. Shruti is also known as Vedas because the Vedas we generally came to know through hearing from one generation to another generations. A Shruti means that is known as through hearing, through came to know. So that is known as Shruti. So hence we can say Shruti as Veda, Veda as a Shruti. Okay. Next is in detail we are going to see about Smritis. Smritis were again, Smritis means dealing with practical application of eternal principles. There is some formulas, there is some rules, set of rules, and practically it all about principles. That is known as this Smritis will deal with. It was again classified as Upavedas. We have seen in the first table Upavedas, Vedangas and Veda Upangas or Upangas also we can say. Upavedas are Ayurveda, Dhanurveda. Ayurveda is all about life sciences or medicines, and Dhanurveda is about warfare, science. Gandharva Veda is all about art and music, and Sthapatya Sastra is mechanic and construction. We have seen that in Vedas itself. In our Vedas itself, they have explained how to there is a Sastra by which we can construct flights. Okay, we have seen that, we know that. So this is Sthapatya Sastra is all about mechanic and construction. So these are Upavedas. And this Smriti is again classified as a Vedangas is Siksha. It's all about how to pronounce Sanskrit language. Okay, it's all about Siksha, phonetics and speaking and grammatical things. Kalpa is religious rites, how to follow our religious rites. And Chandas is prosody. Chandas is formula, set of formulas. And okay, Jyotisha is about astronomy and astrology. Okay, astronomy and astrology. And Nirukta is Vedic glossary, means in briefly we are what is the content of this Vedic. Nirukta explains that. And yeah, Nirukta again is Veda Upangas. Veda Upangas. Okay, what exactly this Veda Upangas is? 6 darshanas. Okay, it was known as 6 darshanas. Again, it's about Nyaya by Gautama and Vaisheshika by Kannada, Sankhya by Kalpa, and by Patanjali this is the author's name, Yoga, Mimamsa, Veda, Vedas, Vedanta and Vedantas. Okay, Veda Vyasa. These are the authors. And Veda Upangas, who has just written Mimamsa, Purva Mimamsa, and here it's there, no? Purva and Uttara Mimamsa. Both were written in the Veda Vyasa. Both were written by the Veda Vyasa. And Patanjali, we know that yoga was written by the Patanjali. And Sankhya by Kapila. And Vaisheshika by Kannada. And Nyaya by Gautama. So this is about brief explanation about Vedas. And let's start about first Veda is Rig Veda. It contains collection of hymns which all about praise of gods, and it is divided into 10 mandals, and mandal 2nd to 7th is the oldest text, and the mandal 9th is all about reciting of Gayatri mantra. In mandal 9 there is a Gayatri mantra recite. Okay, next is Samaveda. Samaveda is also second Veda, and it's all about set of tunes, and Indian music is derived from this book, Samaveda only, and it is also known as Book of Melody. Next is Yajurveda. Yajurveda deals with all rituals, ceremonies, animal sacrifices to be followed at a time of recitals. Okay, and development of Vedic maths and astronomy also seen in the Yajurveda only. It is classified into generally two parts, Shyama Veda and Shukla Veda, that you have to remember. Okay. Next is Rig Veda, which is a part of four Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharveda. Vedas were classified as a mainly four types. Again, it was subclassified and further we'll discuss later that in detail. Rig Veda it contains a collection of hymns, that is praise of God. This Rig Veda is a collection of hymns which is a praise of gods, and it is divided into 10 mandals. In that, 2 to 7 mandals were oldest, and in mandal 9 there is a recitation of Gayatri mantra, that you have to remember in Rig Veda. And next is Samaveda. In Samaveda is all about set of tunes, the hymns of set of tunes, and it is derived from the Indian music is derived from this book, and it is known as Book of Melody. Okay, it is known as Book of Melody. And next is Yajurveda. Yajurveda is deal with all rituals, ceremonies, animal sacrifices to be followed at time of recitals. Recitals during the time of occasions, this ritual ceremonies, animal sacrifices, how to follow that, the principles and rules were written in Yajurveda. And development of Vedic maths and astronomy are also seen in Yajurveda, and it is classified mainly in two parts, Shyama Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda. Okay. Next is Atharva Veda, the magical hymns to get rid of diseases. So this Atharva Veda is mainly deals with medicines, Indian medicines. Ayurveda is also the part of this Atharva Veda. It is also called as Upaveda, this Ayurveda. Okay. And next is literatures, Brahman literature. This Brahman literature is mainly detailedly explained on Vedic hymns. So how to pronounce Vedic hymns and all, Brahmanas, rules, their rituals and all. And it is mainly about agriculture, trade and laws or principles. Okay. Next is Aranyakas. Next is Aranyaka. Itself means a forest. So Vedic mantras are not so straight in meaning, but it deals with the mysticism of Vedic hymns. If you'll just if you'll chant this hymn, it's going to be very impact or magical ways they'll explain the the greatness of their hymns and all in mystical way. So deals about forest. And next is Upanishads. Upanishads is a path of knowledge, and it is this Upanishads is mainly deal for the ultimate goal of this Upanishads. So is salvation, how to gain the salvation. And it is Advaita is also the part of Upanishads, and it's mainly propounded by the Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya. And the Swami Vivekananda and the Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was also contributed for Advaita philosophy. And Satyameva Jayate was taken from Manduka Upanishad, that you have to remember exam point of view, for exam point of view. Next is Vedanga. Okay. Next is Vedanga. Vedangas are again classified as a 6 types or 6 limbs of Vedas. The first is Siksha Vedanga. I'll just we have seen in the flow chart, like for phonetics, speaking and pronunciation, Siksha. And the Kalpa Vedanta for ceremonies. Okay. Nirukta Vedanga. It's all about origin of words. Next is Vyakarna. Vyakarna is all about rules of grammar. Next is Chanda. Chanda is all about rules of poetry, and Jyotisha is all about astronomy. And Vedic age culture. So briefly we are seeing overall culture in Vedic culture. In detail, it was classified into early Vedic culture and late Vedic culture. In detail, in further slides, we are going to understand. Here, briefly, in early Vedic age is known as Rigvedic age. It is known as Rigvedic age, and it exists a tribal polity. In Vedic culture, there existence of tribal polity. The main occupation of these people during that era is cattle rearing. They used to feed themselves by cattle rearing, and mainly we can see so many times the usage of cow and horse and all can be seen in this era. Pasture lands. This is pasture lands. Posture, pasture lands. Postal lands is nothing but of such lands cannot exist long times, hence they keep moving themselves. So this is postal lands. And the people in this Vedic era usually live nomadic life, means there is no settled life. They'll keep moving from one place to another place. And the geographical area in Vedic era, the geographical area according to the textual evidences shows that it exists in Sapta Sindhara, that is 7 rivers. This everything, the Vedic era is mainly focused in 7 rivers, mainly seen in 7 rivers like Sindhu, Visishta, Vipasa, Shrutudri, Parushini, Akshini, Saraswati and Kubha. For the Indus, they will call the Sindhu. For Jhelum, Visishta, Bayas, Vipasa and Sutlej, Shrutudri, Ravi, Parushini, Chenab, Akshini and Saraswati, which is extinct now, they will call as Saraswati, and Kabul they will call as Kubha. So these are the 7 rivers where this Vedic era everything is mainly focused, and the traces of Vedic era is seen according to the textual evidences. Next is early Vedic era, early Vedic culture. So the land between Afghanistan and Rajasthan was a Sapta Sindhu Pradesh. So overall 7 rivers, the land is in between the Afghanistan and Rajasthan. We can find it. Ganga Yamuna rivers mentioned in Rig Veda. In Rig Veda we can see the Ganga Yamuna rivers mentioned. And in this early Vedic culture, the people used to worship with 33 gods. And the name Indra was taken into 250 hymns in Vedic textuals, and Agni for 200 hymns in Agni name was there in 200 hymns, and Varuna is known to be a controller of God according to the textual Vedas, and Usha was goddesses of dawn. And worship, people used to worship in early Vedic culture, people used to worship for materialistic things rather than spirituality. What it really means they used to worship for the wealth, health, happiness and other things rather than for salvation. Okay. Next is later Vedic era. The extension from Ganga Yamuna region and Bihar to Amaravati. Later Vedic age can be seen the extension from Ganga Yamuna region to the Bihar to Amaravati. The agriculture, mostly the people use agriculture. People do the agriculture in alluvial soils. That is seen. And the knowledge of iron was there for the people of this era. And the gradual development of monarchical government. There is a kingship. There is a rule of kingship was seen in this era. And the main occupation is agriculture, where early Vedic era the main occupation is cattle rearing. So that is a difference. Now caste system is Gotra, that is Gotra means multiple caste was available. So many people, different families have different Gotras. So based on their Gotras, the caste system was deciding. That is a Gotra exogamy came. The practice of Varna. There is Kshatriya, Shudra, Vaishya. This is the caste system, Varna system came into existence. And religious rituals rise mostly in 3, that is Rajasuya sacrifice and Vajpaya sacrifice and Ashwamedha sacrifice was regularly the people used to do. And in 600 BC it is known as transformation period. This 600 BC is known as transformation period. Hope this video is very helpful. This is the end of Vedic culture, and keep revising repeatedly for your better understanding as well as better remembrance for exam. Thank you.